You're listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. Hi, I'm Francine.
And I'm Carrie.
We're two best friends who can't stop talking, usually about Disney stuff.
Sometimes we have fascinating guests, and sometimes it's just us, but it's always positive and fun.
We're happy to have you join our chat. Thanks for listening, and let's get started. Well, hello, my travel buddy.
Hello, pal.
How are you?
I'm all right.
Good.
A little sleepy this morning. Yeah, woke me up at the crack of dawn to get ready for recording a podcast.
I know, right? I was saying the same thing to you that, I'm struggling at this time of the year. I don't have the energy that I should have. Like, I'm dragging, like, Carrie, I'm in bed pretty early, but it doesn't mean that I get up early.
Yeah, well, get up early. You're not sleeping until like 10. You got to get up and go to work.
Well, yeah, but I mean on the weekends. Yeah, I'm struggling, but we got some great feedback about our last podcast.
Right, we did.
We did. I have a comment that I got.
Right.
That I feel like that I should read.
I think you should.
From Carol.
Aunt Carol.
She sent me a note and said, "Wow, this podcast was the best I have heard. I have watched Once Upon a Studio several times, and I think there are too many great things to pick a favorite. But I will say Walt and Mickey is the best. I love Eeyore, not to mention the appearance of the Cheshire Cat and so many more. This made me watch it a couple more times after the podcast. I'd have to say my pixie dust is being able to listen to the podcast and the way you two showed your excitement. This was the best show Disney has put out. Each time I watch it, I get goosebumps, tears, and a lump in my throat."
Oh.
And that's so nice.
It is.
She's so lovely. She's so lovely. Thank you.
Thanks, Aunt Carol.
But we did get some good feedback about that podcast and our excitement about it. And we got to clear it up. So in Once Upon a Studio, the sister from Encanto is carrying the cows from Home on the Range. Yeah. But in actual Encanto, you and I don't know what we were thinking.
I didn't honestly think of it too much. Like, really, like, spoiler alert here.
Spoiler, if you listen to the podcast, the two of us say that she carries cows in Encanto, but she doesn't. They're donkeys.
Oh, donkeys, cows, horses, cow-shaped animals.
Cow-shaped animals.
I didn't even think of it. It's just when you get talking, you don't, sometimes things don't register. But yeah, she is definitely transporting and moving around donkeys.
Carrie, and I don't know if we've talked about that. Do you listen to the podcast?
No.
I know it sounds counterintuitive. Like, I talk to you on the podcast. I don't listen to every episode, but sometimes when I'm driving to work or I'll put on the podcast and it makes me laugh.
Well, that's part of the reason why I think, like, I don't listen to them, because I think that's why. Like, I used to listen to them in the early ones. I would listen to quite a few of them over again, because sometimes I just want to hear what we had said again or whatever. But like, I listen to, like, the way I listen to podcasts, like, I'll just be laughing. Like, I can't, like, I'm not listening to them because I don't want to, or because I don't want to hear myself or anything. Like, I'm well over that. And I know what we say is what we say. And it's like, I move on, like, whatever. It's 100% not that. It's more like, like, sometimes I let podcasts, if I ever listen to them, I listen to them when I'm cleaning the house or doing something like that, because I'm like, just running around and then I'll just kind of giggle. But yeah, like, if I listen to them at work, I couldn't listen to them when I'm driving. That's for sure. Like, it's
just my drive better.
Like, if I listen to them at work, I probably would just have to stop and not be able to work, because sometimes I let things just play, like, whether I'm not really paying attention or whatever, I have things playing or whatever. So yeah, I think that's more why, not because I don't want to. It's just they don't really, the timing of when I would listen just doesn't seem appropriate.
Well, our friend Susan listens when she's walking the dogs. And she says, like, sometimes people are looking at her like, what is that woman laughing at by herself? So
Yeah, I guess maybe if I need to start walking, I could listen to them when I walk.
Yes. Well, this is not the time of the year for the walk, so it's starting to get a little bit chilly for that.
But they are funny. They are funny to listen back, because sometimes you're just laughing at us laughing. Just like everybody else does. It works on us too.
Exactly. Now, this week's episode, Carrie, we're going to share something that, well, it's different for you, because we're going to share information early. So the jinxies could be in effect.
The jinxies or jinx-a-lots, yeah. But that's
okay. But you have agreed to share this information.
Yeah.
So we're going on a trip. And it isn't Disney.
How did that happen, you may ask?
Exactly. How did this happen, Carrie?
Well, I could tell you how it happened. I have a friend that was just dying to get away.
Really?
The ducks weren't aligning.
No, I seriously.
Her Disney ducks and her Universal Orlando Resort ducks weren't lining up, and things weren't.
Oh my gosh. I was all over the place. I was like, do I do this? I couldn't use my DVC points. I couldn't figure out when I was going, how I was going. And every time I thought I had something planned, my boss said, you can't be away then. It was rough. I couldn't. So then I just figured maybe this year I'm going to take some days off and just stay home and like clean my house. That was my holiday.
It's not that bad of a holiday, really. I like that holiday too right now.
Until my friend called me one night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to share, Carrie?
What friend? Who are you talking about? Well, I'd heard like the week prior about sailing on the MSC cruise line out of New York City. So it just happened to be like it was in my lap and on my head, and that's when I mentioned it to you, and it seemed to work out. It seemed to work out just fine. Like it's almost like the opportunity and the idea, because we've never sailed on this cruise line before.
Never.
Like it just seemed to kind of happen and be like in front of us, like going, "Hey, you over here!
What about
summer
me?
blowout, end of summer blowout, Thanksgiving vacation blowout."
Yeah, I have to say I was shocked, because when you called and said, "Hey, what do you think about an MSC cruise?" and I'm like, "A what?" and you said, "Yeah, it's like 8 days and it's like 4 sea days," and I said, "But Carrie, you get seasick." So at first I thought you were kidding. And then we kept talking, and then I was like, "Are you serious? Like, you want to do that?" Because I was like, "Yeah, of course I'm in." It'd be fun to try something new. And as I said to you, like, you are probably the only person I could happily spend 8 days at sea with.
We'll see what she says when we're done. She'll be like, "Well, I got nothing now." Looks like single sailing for me in the future.
Well, we were reading reviews before we decided, and the reviews are very divided.
Right. Yeah.
They're
well, maybe
incredibly divided.
I think we should tell people a little bit about the cruise ship and that might help why it's a little divided, right? Like this cruise ship's been around for a long time. Like, and I think MSC is an Italian company, like a family, like originally maybe even family owned company, or still is, or whatever. And it's a shipping company, and it was been around forever. And then they got into the cruise ship business, but they are a cruise ship company that sailed in Europe for many years.
Right.
And then they came to America. So when you cruise with them, they're kind of like Costa Cruise. They have more of a European way of of sailing and servicing people. So whereas we're used to on a Disney ship or any other ship, the cast members or the crew members fawning over us, really, in comparison. Yes. So on Costa and on MSC, they do their job, and they do their job very well, but that's it. Like they're not making towel animals on your bed, and they're not gonna make sure that they're
not gonna fan you on the promenade.
Yeah, they're not gonna do jumping jacks when they see you on the private island because they're your room person. Like they might wave, they might nod, they might just get to work because they're trying to do their job to the extent. Like it makes you think about like how much extra harder, probably, like how much more it is probably for some of those other cruise line staffs, like tasking on their mental, abilities and their physicalness, to think like that these guys are probably giving excellent service without the kisses and hugs and what it must take to do whatever. So anyways, so generally, people review MSC and they're not always as nice. Like, it's not up to par with the other major cruise lines that we are more familiar with.
That's
so
for sure.
When we looked, we saw lots of, like, you either see bad reviews or
great.
Well, first you just see bad reviews. People are saying, it's not this, it's not that, the food's yucky, like just everything.
Oh yeah.
Like you're like, whoa.
And but you know what I love, Carrie? Like this. So I read the reviews and I was like, yeah, I'm still up for trying it. And you said to me, and I love this. This is what makes you so easygoing. You said to me, look, we're either going to have a great time or fun stories to tell.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's really what it comes down to. And you and I are both pretty easygoing. Like, it'll be what it'll be. I can live on French fries for a week if I have to. That's how I managed Cuba. Like, we'll be fine.
But that when you read, like, and this is where, like, I'm sure this will be fine. And maybe it depends on the type of personality that you are. But like, it's kind of crazy the fact that we read those horrible reviews and we do have to, like, it's great that we have that attitude, but it's really kind of crazy to think like this jumbo ship and this company that's been around forever, we're worried that we're only going to be able to eat French fries all week long. Like, it's just amazing the power of these negative reviews, that when you first look for something, that's what you always find. You always find the negative. And it didn't take us long to dig to find so much better information. But like this is an Italian company. Like, I bet you those cappuccinos they serve in their
dreaming of
coffee
cappuccinos
is gonna be fantastic. I bet you their pizza.
Oh, I can't wait to
they
try
make
their pizza.
Fresh mozzarella cheese on board the ship. That's what they do. Like, sure, some, you could go on a different cruise line and do a wave rider. Like, you could go and do bumper boats. But honestly,
cheese.
Seriously, people. Anyways, but we also, so we didn't really get into deciding, like, we decided and that was it, right? We took like a day and then we booked the cruise and we're like, we're going. And then you found a Facebook group. So just like Disney, they have Facebook groups. I was digging through the Cruise Critic website thinking it was like 1999, trying to see if I could find a roll call from back in the old days. And then you found on Facebook,
because they haven't navigate Cruise Critic anymore.
So they have so the ship we're on is the Meraviglia. So it's so there's a page.
Say it again.
Meraviglia.
I was calling it the Meraviglia.
Meraviglia. So we're on the Meraviglia, and so there's a Facebook page for the Meraviglia. Yes. But then there's a Facebook page, just like Disney fans do. There's a Facebook page for our cruise, and like we were on that page for like, we scrolled it for like an hour, and we're like, oh yeah, this is going to be great, just because there's people that have been on these cruises 24, 25 times.
Yes,
like and it makes you feel so much more better. Like, everybody's asking questions, and sure, it's totally different how they do drinks and how they do things on board and what you pay for or whatever. But if you think about it, it all still seems reasonable and relevant, and it seems to all make sense. So,
but it just goes to show you, Carrie, like, once we had the mindset, we decided we were going, and it was almost like overnight we stopped seeing all the negative reviews and we were only finding good ones. Mm-hmm. And I don't know whether that was just the luck of the draw, us being online, or because our mindset shifted in that we're looking forward to this. Mm-hmm. So we were looking for good reviews, and there were tons of them. Of them. And I'm so glad that we decided to go, because if we had only read the negative reviews at first, we might not have booked it.
Yeah.
But because of who we are. So it's just a reminder for everybody. Keep looking. Like, there, sometimes there's lots of negative Nellies, but if you keep looking, there's some good stuff.
And I find those groups are really, like, I do find them sometimes overwhelming, those groups, but like, looking at the, like, being in that group as a first time sailor, which would be for us, not for a long, like, you know, Disney, we don't need to worry about that. But like, everybody in that group, like, it's still got some funny group things that people do.
Oh yeah.
But everybody in that group that's been a sailor before is so encouraging. Like they're making everybody else excited. And if anybody's worried about this or with that, they're answering the questions or debunking things. They're telling them, yeah, that's true, you know, or no, that's not true. This is the reality of what happens with this or that or whatever, right? So yeah, very, very helpful. Like, I think that's what really helped. And like, the people that have been on it that are saying, oh, don't worry, this is going to be awesome. That's going to be awesome. You know, maybe this isn't the greatest, but trust me, it's going to be the best time ever or whatever. Right. So
yeah.
So it was interesting from the newbies perspective, being in that group and really, like,
didn't you feel like, wow, this is what it feels like for, like, because we don't get that very often where we're going to experience something that's 100% brand new. We've never, like, this sails out of Brooklyn. Like, I've never been to Brooklyn. I've never been on an MSC. I have no idea how any of this stuff works. It was a bit overwhelming to be new, and normally you would say ask your travel agent, but this is why we're going to experience it, so that we're better prepared for others. But we learned a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And it's interesting to take the to take the efforts to really, like, understand things. We so don't do that anymore. But, like, and not like we're studying it, whatever, but I think we're probably doing what, like, a normal person would do, right? Like, reading all the stuff and trying to, and just wrapping our head around it so that we're not, I couldn't imagine if we would have just booked in and did what we usually do and just showed up at this cruise terminal. like
would have been a disaster.
This Facebook group has been very helpful in helping us understand the ways of this MSC. So
we booked our cruise, and then we booked our flights, and I had like a canceled credit whatever from the Disney cruise that I had to cancel from COVID. And at first, we weren't even sure we were getting on the same flights because you booked yours. And then when I went to call to use my credit, she couldn't use it on the same flights. But we managed to get that sorted.
Mm-hmm.
So we're on, like, these are Tinker planes. That's
the plane that goes from Toronto to New York City. They're just little planes.
There's like 6 or 7 flights a day. And we are doing exactly what we tell clients not to do. Yeah, we're flying down the morning of the cruise.
Mm-hmm.
However, we figured we were okay with that because there's like 5 flights before our cruise sailing time. So we picked the earliest flight.
Right. And we bought a cruise fare that we could change. Right? Pardon?
It's at like 6:30 or 7 o'clock in the morning or something. Like it sounds stupid. Yeah. So let's make sure Carrie's awake and meeting me at the airport. Or parking here. We haven't figured that part out yet. But we figured, you're right. We bought the fares that we could change. We could change the flight if need be.
Mm-hmm.
So fingers crossed.
Fly out the day before.
Just in case.
Just in case. Storm is coming or something.
If we catch wind of the weather turning, we may have to fly in the day before. But for now, we're flying in the morning of the cruise.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to we're just going to take a taxi or an Uber or whatever. We'll figure it out when we get there. From LaGuardia to Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're boarding the ship. So all of our reviews that we have read, boarding the ship is a bit of a
disaster.
Although I saw some people saying that was in the very beginning, like when they were first sailing out of Brooklyn and they hadn't quite figured it all out, although who knows. But we actually get priority boarding.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the great things that many cruise lines are doing now, and thank goodness we thought to look into this, was many cruise lines are matching your status that you have on other cruise lines because they want, right? So if you have like some kind of status because you've sailed so many times on another cruise, they're matching it so that you'll try their cruise line. So we submitted our stuff and they matched our Disney status. So out of the gate, we're diamond. We're like their top tier because they match the Disney status.
That's pretty cool.
That was pretty
That's
cool.
such a smart thing to do. Like, so smart.
I was so surprised because when I saw it and I filled it out that night and I thought, oh, I wonder like whether, because I'm platinum on Disney, I thought maybe they would just like give me like their entry level or mid level or something like that on MSC, but they gave us the top tier.
That's awesome. Yeah. So everything that comes with the top tier, all the gifts, all the discounts, all the
so receptions,
the early boarding, the early everything is all part of it, which is very, very cool. Such a smart thing to do.
I know. And they do hotel ones too. I noticed that. Mm-hmm. Like if you have like a top tier with Marriott or things like that, it's not just cruise.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that was a good thing that we got. So we don't have an issue with boarding. We should be fine with boarding and disembarking because we get priority disembarking. Although our flight home, I think we booked late in the afternoon just so we had plenty of time. But we didn't.
We could have booked earlier, but we didn't because we were reading these reviews about how horrible it was to get on and off the ship, so we didn't want to cut it so close that we were gonna miss our it was like an 11 o'clock, wasn't it? 11 something.
Yeah. And I mean, and it's a Monday, so traffic will be bad because it's like a work day or weekday. But we did buy same thing. We bought the fares on the way home that are the changeable ones. So if we get to the airport at 9 a.m., maybe we can get on an earlier flight, or we can just hang out at the airport. We don't care. We're usually pretty easygoing that way.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. I'm trying to think of what else
So we need to talk about all the things that we had to decide for the ship. But before we do, why don't we take a break for our jingle?
Sure.
If you're a Disney fan, then you should listen to Carrie and Fran. They laugh and chat and help you make a plan. If you're going to Walt Disney World or Disneyland, and you will become a Pixie Dust fan.
It's always so happy. I love to sing along with it. If you're at Disney, but I can't sing it because I can't sing. Anyway, so we're back.
Right.
So the things
we booked it. So we decided we were confronted with a problem, a dilemma. We problem solved it. We booked our cruise. We booked our flights.
Yeah.
We're
and
VIPs
then I told my boss.
MSC.
Yeah. We got time off. It's 8 days. So this cruise is 8 days. We sail Sunday to Monday, which is fantastic. And both of us said to each other that we are so excited to just do nothing.
Yeah, I kind of think of it as just being like an all-inclusive trip, really, that we don't like we're probably only going to get off the ship on one day and then we're just going to be on board and just chilling out.
Correct. So we sail from Brooklyn to where do we
Miami.
Go first? Miami. I felt like we should do like a picture of something in Miami for us, like Golden Girl style or whatever. But we've agreed we're probably not getting off the ship in Miami because there's really nothing around the port. And like, where are we going to go?
I'm going to jump in a cab and go somewhere. But
like only if we're bored and we wanted to do something, but neither one of us are fussed. And then we go to Nassau.
We go to Ocean Cay first.
Oh, we go to Ocean Cay first. So we're getting off the ship there. Because we want to see that.
It's a private island.
Yeah, their private island. It looks really nice. It looks fun. Carrie you know what's happened to Carrie? Carrie became like one of these crazy people who, once she's done deluxe dining and deluxe hotels, now she's like, should we just rent a cabana on the beach? Should we splurge? Should we do this? Should we do that? So
spoiler alert, the cabanas were all sold out. That's what happens when you book something a week 3 weeks before sailing.
Yeah, because it's true. We booked it 3 weeks before sailing. Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. So no cabana, but that was kind of funny. So we're gonna get off there, and then and they stayed there pretty late because there's a night show or something on there.
Yeah, they have like a dance party on the beach.
Woohoo! But
I think the thing is, like, when you look, like, Ocean Cay and Miami are like, they look like you could swim between. If you're a really strong swimmer, you could swim between them.
You could row a boat over.
You could row a dinghy between them. And then I would expect, and then Nassau's not that far either. So yeah, I think they stay. And I think in some itineraries from all of our research, they've done overnights there. Like the ships sometimes do overnights. But yeah, they have a dance like until 11 o'clock or maybe at night.
Yeah,
10 or 11 they probably leave for us, and they have like a dance party, and they have a what do you call it, what's that thing called on the beach, the lighthouse. The lighthouse is like it all lights up like
they have like
Las
a projection
Vegas
show or something on their lighthouse, which is kind of cool.
It's like Las Vegas lighthouse style Bahamas.
Yeah. And then from there we go to Nassau, which we're not getting off the ship because we've been there, done that.
We've been there.
Wrote the book.
And then we sail home and hopefully don't get seasick.
Yeah, so the big dilemma, so we were looking at the different cabins when we booked, and we settled on for sure, well, we have a veranda for sure. We did midship and high up. So we're hoping that it's okay for Carrie. And she's just gonna bring her regular meds, and if you have to sleep, you have to sleep.
I just suffer. I don't. Yeah. I just go with the flow. We'll see. It might not be too bad. But I did find like a documentary on how they built that ship, and like it's built like all those big. Like this ship is ginormous. Like it is not as big as those new. Yeah, it's not as big as those new Royal Caribbean Mamma Jammas that have been of recent years, but it was pretty much built back when they started doing all that craziness, like the mega ships. So, like it's pretty much right underneath all those big ships when it comes to their overall size. So it's huge. So I've never been on a ship that big. Like even when I went on a Royal Caribbean one, we were on one of the older, I don't know if it was a Freedom class or whatever class it was, but it was pretty much in the end. They're kind of the size of the bigger Disney ships now, right? So it wasn't. I haven't had a mega ship. You went on your NCL ship. You went on, that would have been a big mega ship. Right?
That was pretty big. But this still looks even bigger, Carrie. When I look at the promenade or whatever they call where the shops and stuff are, when I was looking at the videos, I thought that's massive. Like on a Disney ship, I can stand on one side and see the other side, right? But this, it looks like a mall, like an actual mall that you would go shopping in. It's huge,
crazy.
It's insane.
So hopefully the movement won't be too bad. Like in the way that like in this documentary I watched, like how they explain how these mega jumbo ships, how they've been like engineering them to make them, like as they've made them, they're not just making them bigger, they're trying to make them as well so that the motion is even less. So as they build them bigger, they're always trying to engineer that factor too. So it'll be interesting to see if I feel the same way on this ship. I've always been curious to see what being on a big ship means to myself and my feelings on board.
4 full sea days to figure it out.
Whatever, it'll be all good.
It'll be fine.
I'll just be on board. I'll just be up on the deck in the fresh air or on the balcony.
Well, and that's what we both figured. We are both looking forward to doing nothing. I could just sit on the balcony all day and just drink my tea and whatever. But that does bring us to, we spent an enormous amount of time debating add-ons. Most likely because I just couldn't make it. I couldn't wrap my head around it. So the first thing that we added on that we're pretty excited about is the spa. What's it called again? What's the doohickey? I can't remember what it's called. It's like the spa place.
Yeah, they have like on the Disney ships, they have like a section that's got like the like the hot tubs and the chairs, like the heated chairs and the steam rooms and all that stuff. So they've got a huge one on the ship. So we bought the pass for
the week,
cruise, which is like, and it's like 40-something% off. So it was really not that much money.
Right.
To do it.
So we bought that, and that gives us access. They have like these weird, so I'm looking forward to the hot tubs and things like that, but they're all inside. There's no, like, it's dark and there's no windows.
That's the one part that I thought was weird. Like, I think it's weird that they wouldn't have like put it in an area where they would have even had, I don't expect the whole area to have a view, but even having, like, I think on the Dream, their hot tubs look out into, like, they look out to the ocean, right?
Ocean. Yeah.
So like that's the only views maybe outside for in that area that we would have the pass to, but there were still something. So I thought that was weird, but it's humongous. Like they have like, they have different levels of steam rooms. They have an ice room. They've got a salt room, like a steam room that's all salt, like the salt air or whatever. Like they've got all kinds of things. They've got the rainforest type showers and a couple of big hot tubs, like big ones.
One that
too.
looks like a big pool.
Yeah, like it looks pretty cool. So I don't think we really had to contemplate too much on whether to add that. That was
that one was kind of a no-brainer. So we added that one. I'm excited to try all of that. And then we had to decide on the drink package. The drink package was the hardest thing. Absolutely the hardest thing.
We still have 5 days to decide, as per our Facebook group where everybody keeps posting and reminding us.
Keep reminding us. So it was less hard for you to decide because you don't drink. You know, if you have a cocktail, it's one. That's so a drink package for you doesn't necessarily make sense. But they do have drink packages that include coffees and bottled water and all of that specialty kind of stuff.
Yeah, and MSC allows you to. They allow you to have, like, I could have the non-alcoholic and you could have the alcoholic, which is very rare on a cruise ship. Everybody in the room must have a drink package, and that's pretty much how all the other cruise lines work. But they actually allow us to, as long as we have a drink package, I could have one and you could have another. So
you have to pick the drink, like everybody has a package. But you can have different ones. So then the debate was, do you get the non-alcoholic one and then do I get the alcohol one? But when we did the calculations, so the basic alcohol one, because I'm not like a fruity drink, like, yeah, I could have a pina colada one day by the pool, but that's it. Like I'm a beer drinker. So they only had Heineken in the basic package and I can't drink Heineken. Yeah. So then I would have had to get the next tier up to get a variety of beers, and it was pretty expensive.
Yeah, it was if it would have been the first package, you probably could have justified it because it's prepaid. They also have, which I believe from our research, which is different from other drink packages because we don't generally do there's no drink packages on Disney like that, is that they include the gratuities as well. So like by the one thing that we thought was really neat about booking online, like doing this, like because we're in Canada, we've booked it through like Canadian pricing, and we can actually add the drink packages on in Canadian pricing, and you have the exchange rate's already in there. Plus, if they give any discounts before that, it really, you know, there's no mysteries to like having it on your account and realizing your drink package ended up costing you this much, or having to add on, like every time you get a drink, adding on another. Every time you get something, adding on a tip, right? So the gratuities all bundled in too. So I think, you know, if you can make it, I know you have to drink 10 drinks a day to make a drink package work, but depending for some people, if you drink a certain amount of alcohol, it's kind of nice to like have it paid before you, like to have it paid and done and not worry about it. Like not have it at the end of your.
Yeah, that was the thing for me because I like having things prepaid so I don't have to worry about it when I'm on the ship. But it was a far cry.
Yeah,
like if it was, you know, if it broke even at 5 drinks a day, absolutely, I would have been in. But there's no way that maybe a couple days, Carrie, if we're sitting by the pool, I might have a handful, but there's no way I'm going to drink 10 a day.
Yeah, it was too much.
There's no way. So it was a real, even the bottles of water, like I was very excited about the bottles of water. But yeah, it's
what's the matter?
Why are you pointing at your computer? You forgot to hit record?
No, it stopped. I hit my thing and then something happened, so I'm re-record. I started another recording.
Okay, that's okay. It's okay. I'm recording on my end.
Well, I think too, with like the one thing that I think about this, like this whole drink package thing, though, like. Honest to goodness, why not have a Bud Light? Like, why not have a Bud? Like, have a regular American, like even just one. Like,
yeah, like why
like
only
Bud Light and not Bud everything or whatever? Like, why not have one? Because if that was the case, if it was like then you would have bought it. So I think that's a little sneaky on their point, because like, who really does drink? Is it Heineken? Who really does drink Heineken and want to drink Heineken all week long?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Because that was my issue on Virgin voyages. They didn't have regular American beer. They only had like the only thing that I could drink was Corona, and I can only drink one of those. So yeah, it was anyway, I mean, it makes it doesn't matter to me. But so I was going to get it for the
one by one into your shipboard account.
Yeah, so I'll just keep some money set aside for at the end of the week when my credit card gets dinged. But yeah, so the drink package we decided against. And because you're right, I'm not even going to drink enough bottled water to justify it. What was the other thing we had to debate?
The internet. We had to, well,
the
it
internet.
wasn't really debating. We knew we had to.
We knew we needed the internet. We were just debating how many devices. So this is weird. This is something that's different with MSC, is you don't buy a package and then you can log in and out with different devices. You sign up a device. So when we get on the ship, once our phones are connected, that's it. We have packages associated to our phones. And you can't like sign out of your phone and log in with your laptop. It's done.
Sneaky. That's like the Heineken thing.
It is. So that one really was a bit of a dilemma, and we tried. There are some phones that allow you to hotspot when you're on Wi-Fi, but mine does not, and neither does yours.
Yeah, I never tried. Yeah, I can't. I haven't tried the other Wi-Fi thingy though yet.
The Bluetooth.
The Bluetooth. Yeah. Right. I haven't tried that yet.
So, but it's really quite complicated if you want to try and figure that piece out. So we bought the 3-device streaming package. And that you can watch your YouTube, and apparently it works. Apparently it works well. And the difference, for the price we paid, but for the difference between the browsing package and the streaming package for 3 devices was something like $150 for the week. So
might as well stream.
It made no sense to go with the lower one to save $150.
Well, and the pricing, and I think the pricing of the actual internet plan for the week, I don't think that was horrible. It was the fact that we're paying, like, for you to pay for one device and for me to pay for one device for what we paid, I think is fine. I have no qualms about that original price. It's the fact that we would both have to pay twice that if we both had our laptops.
Exactly.
Like the fact that they're made, like, so I don't think the base price is horrible. I think it's in line with all the other cruise lines. It's just the fact that they make us, like, if you wanted to have, and I think that's what like, if you have, like, even if you just had somebody that just wanted to be able to pop on and not like pop on their internet here and there, like that's really not cool.
Exactly. And I think that's the problem. So we know, when we're in Nassau and in Miami, we can use the cell service, which is fine. But because it's 4 sea days, I need to be able to access my computer. So yeah, we had to buy the 3 devices. But whatever. Whatevs. That's the price of being on vacation. And all our food is included, except for like the specialty coffees, and you can buy like chocolates and things like that. They have like a chocolatier type shop where you can buy specialty. I've noticed that's what I focused on and what I saw. But yeah, when I was looking at all the videos, like I've turned into this YouTube person. I don't understand. I'm now on YouTube watching all these things about the cruise. Yeah, I'm kind of excited. What are you most looking forward to?
I don't know. I'm kind of excited just because it's something new. Like I like that it's going to be something new to explore. I like that. I like that idea. Like that's how I felt on the Wish. Like it was all new, and it was so exciting because it was new. Like I could, you could look in every little spot and take pictures of all things and really try to figure it out. So I kind of like that it's something different, totally different.
For sure.
But and I'm looking forward to the coffee for sure. Better be good.
Better be good coffee.
I'll get my pitchfork out afterwards. I'm like, they called themselves an Italian company. And yeah, just doing nothing.
Yeah, me too. And they have an indoor pool. on the ship too. So we could even be in that before we leave New York while it's cold out.
Yeah.
Crazy Canadians.
Cool. Yeah, we'll see what our 8 days on a board a ship where we're barely leaving will be like. But I'm sure it's a big ship. We'll be able to explore and find stuff.
There's plenty to do.
There's a casino. Everybody go to the casino.
Yes. Did you see they even have in the Facebook group? So in the Facebook group, they have this thing where you can all contribute to a slot machine. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, I saw that. It's like a slot poll. So
everybody chips in. It's like the lottery.
Yeah, we were talking about this before about how, we think the Disney fans are a little crazy with all the things they do, fish extenders and whatever, meet and greets and whatever. They do all kinds of stuff. They organize. Like this little group, they've got the slot pull exchange. They've organized all kinds of meet and greets and things like that. And then today someone posted they're doing like a gift exchange. And I don't know if it's because we're sailing over Thanksgiving and it's like pre-Christmas or whatever, but there's a gift exchange that they're just starting. I think they're just starting to organize, or whether we've missed it. But yeah, there's all kinds of meet and greets that they're doing, and they do all the same stuff, like trying to gather people doing excursions together and blah blah blah. But yeah, the gift exchange and the slot pull thing was interesting.
It is. And
I'm sure there's more that we haven't even found yet. This Facebook group's got lots and lots of posts.
But it's weird to see, because we assume that, it's the Disney crazy community that do that. The duck thing, whatever that people are talking
my
about,
goodness. That's an obvious one. Yeah. Like all the ducks that they do. Like this one lady in the group said that she just got like, I don't know, 50 more ducks in the mail. And she says, I've already got 150. I'm like, how is that? You're packing like hundreds of ducks.
This. Maybe we need to do some research. I don't understand where the ducks came from. I thought the ducks were a Jeep thing, that people leave ducks on Jeeps.
Well, they leave ducks on cruise ships, and they make them, and they leave little notes. So like, it'll be like, if it was a duck, if we had ducks and we could put a little tag on it to say that it's from Fran and Carrie and blah, blah, blah. And then you're supposed to either keep the duck or you're supposed to hide it again. So other people find it. So it's just like the joy of like finding it and then deciding what you're going to do.
Yeah. See, I never get that stuff. I don't understand that stuff. It's kind of like the fish extender stuff. Like, I don't know these people. Why am I going to spend time making gifts for them that I got a cart in my luggage?
Well,
it just, to me, my brain does not comprehend it. I know some people love it.
Well, think about if you sailed a lot, or the non-Disney cruise lines that they do this duck stuff with, or maybe they do it on the cruise Disney ones too. They probably do, really. Like imagine if you cruised you were a 25-time cruiser, you'd have, and you probably can't even find one duck every cruise, I'm sure, because you think like there's a lot of cruisers on board that will find them, but you'd have like little duck souvenirs. Like maybe that's it, that you just keep them. I don't know. Ask me.
It's weird.
When we were on the Royal Caribbean one, like whenever it was 2 Novembers ago or whatever, we found, like, Anna found a duck. So I think we saw a duck once on that big jumbo cruise ship for the 5 or 6 nights we were on.
It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
I just, yeah.
But it's just as weird as people, you're saying a fish extender.
Oh, I know. The fish extenders,
why is it called a fish extender? Well, there's a hook that on the original ships was a fish. So they called it a fish extender. Why an extender? Why wouldn't they call it the fish hook exchange? Why is it called a fish extender?
I know.
Probably some term with the nautical term, like, it's they can't
weird.
call it a hook because a hook is something that does this on the ship. So we had to call it an extender because it extends out of the wall and whatever. So
yeah,
so it's
I
just
don't know.
As wonky as that.
I was reading in one of the Disney groups as well that somebody was like, people were stealing the fish extenders.
I believe it.
It's just, yeah. So I don't know. That stuff to me, and plus it's room in my suitcase. So of course we've begun the debate of what suitcase are you bringing, blah, blah, blah. Of course I'm bringing my full size suitcase because we have to dress for dinner at night. If we eat in the dining rooms, which was the other thing that we could have bought, was a package to eat at the specialty restaurants. They had packages where you could buy 2, 3, 4,
and they were
5
fairly
dinners.
Reasonable.
They were reasonable, but we didn't buy any. But we do get one free because of our diamond status. So we got to book that when we get on the ship. Yeah, so I'm going to need like outfits for in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
So
sort of.
sort of.
I think it'll be interesting, like how we feel when we're done all of this about like what, like we were easygoing, go with the flow. Did we just stick with that when we got on board? When we get on board, did we end up spending more on specialty dining, or did we feel like we had to spend so much, like, you know, like what we have to do when we're on board, or if we're really going to be like just go with the flow, kind of chill people, like, because I think my instinct of just like seeing this from the angle right now with, you know, being able to prepay and be able to book things and get early discounts and the cost of things, like I think the if you wanted to do 3 specialty dinings on board, I felt it was very reasonable to add that on compared to what I thought I've seen in other places. Like, I'll be interested to what our overall in the end like score is of this experience, because they're known to be like, sure, you could be on a like book their yacht club area and spend lots of money on a cruise, like be in a ridiculous suite or balcony, like you can spend a lot of money going on this cruise. But like if you are kind of reasonable normal balcony or whatever, and you take advantage of these early bookings or upgrades you can bid for or do all that stuff, like I think it's a fairly reasonably priced cruise. So maybe it's not going to be, you know, the Disney cruise experience that we're used to, but I have a hard time understanding, like, if you took advantage of all that stuff, even the drink packages are cheaper, and like the non-alcoholic drink package I thought was fairly reasonable. Like if you bundled up and made this dream package where you really was out of pocket, like I don't like, you know, all you paid for everything up front and had it all figured out, like that number in the end of what you paid is probably still significantly less than if you did all of that. So I feel like that they do their best, it seems, in advance, which maybe they all do this, but I'm sure they all do. But I think the price points on a lot of this stuff is lower. Like that they're giving you all the options to not feel that you're pulling your pocketbook every single second when you're on this cruise, right? So and I know they do this on purpose, but it just seems like if you just face the music, right? Like, you know, you want to do all this stuff, you just pay for it. I think if you added it up with this MSC cruise, it's got to be. So it'll be interesting to see what we feel about like our experience with all of the travel we've done, like the value for what you'd pay for that type of thing versus what we got. Because I really like, my gut is like, this is like, you know, this might be a very good thing for people. Like it seems,
I think so too.
Dollars and cents, it might make a lot of sense, right? And even putting all those things on in advance and buying the drink packages and whatever, right? It might make sense. So I'm excited when we're done to kind of wrap our head around what we really truly thought of.
For sure. And even their specialty dining, some of them you can do a la carte, where you can just pay. Because I meant to message you yesterday. Their taco place looks pretty good.
Yeah, like I think their
steak place and their taco place look really good.
Like I think it costs like $18 or something, or $17 I saw for dinner, and you can go in and you eat whatever. Like for a specialty restaurant to be only $17, I think is pretty low price compared to some that I've seen on other cruise ships. Like some of the ones on the other cruise ships, I think like I wouldn't spend that much money to go for dinner at home, or why would I spend that much on board when I can go at home and have a separate evening out and spend that same amount of money? Like to me, I don't think that's like, for me personally, I don't know that I would want to experience that for those types of costs. But for, you know, all you can eat tacos for like $20.
Yeah, sign me up.
Sign us up, man. Bring it on.
Well, we'll be sharing it all. So this episode goes live before we sail. And so our next episode 2 weeks later we're hoping to record a little bit on the ship because obviously we'll be together, it'll be easier. So if we don't, then you guys just come at us like, what else are we gonna do going on a ship where we got nothing to do? Well, we can record some. I think it's important that we record some the first couple days. We will. I'm going to set a reminder in my calendar to remind us to record something. Okay. Well, because Carrie, we're going to be doing nothing but sitting talking for 8 days. We should be able to record a piece of it.
Let's just see how that comes back at us later. Let's see.
I know. Okay, so that's we'll be giving you the updates on the next episode. So Carrie, it's the time of the podcast. What is your pixie dust this week?
I got
don't say booking a cruise.
No.
Okay. Just checking. Go on.
Grief. I just got to check my calendar to make sure I got my dates right here.
Your date's right.
Oh, yeah. So yesterday,
Uh-huh.
I got a message from Glenda. A screenshot from Glenda.
Oh, no.
That
Here we go.
The dates for next year's puzzle competition have been set. May 4th and 5th, 2020. Or is it May 5th? May 4th and 5th, 2024. Is a 2-day competition.
2-day competition in Georgetown?
In Georgetown. Dates have been booked. Calendars have been held. We're ready to go.
So May the 4th. So Star Wars Day. Interesting.
Maybe there'll be a Star Wars themed puzzle. Doubt it.
Maybe.
2 days of puzzle
Carrie,
fun.
that
The
is
Canadian
so
Jigsaw
exciting.
Puzzle Association.
That is exciting.
2 days.
Woohoo!
So exciting. So yeah, that's the best news ever. Something to now we don't do registration till February, so it's a long time. But
wow. But you can start planning, so you make
and surprising. We thought it might be next November too, or October. So like the fact that it was in October and they're going to do it again in May already.
Maybe they're going to start doing it twice a year.
That would be awesome.
Maybe because it was such a big deal.
That would be awesome.
So obviously you've got it in your calendar, reminder to register.
I was checking Glenda, to see my my April travel. I'm like, oh, thank goodness I don't have to cancel anything.
Because you would have.
I got some travel in April, so I'll be home a week. Oh, I might have to bring Glenda on these trips so we can practice.
Yeah, you might have to, and then that way you can practice your puzzling while you're away.
Maybe I might, and we'll have to see if she considered that.
See? That's awesome. That's awesome.
Oh dear. Anyways, yeah.
Oh, good.
What's your pixie dust?
That's exciting. My pixie dust is that because we're going on this fantastic cruise, I ordered new pajamas.
Ooh.
I ordered new pajamas are hard to find, Carrie. Like non-heat holding pajamas. So I don't want thermal pajamas, right? That's the last thing I can have because
is that what you search when you look online, non-thermal pajamas?
I searched the coolest pajamas ever. And yeah, so I got a couple pairs. They arrived yesterday. They fit. They're lovely. So I'm going to throw them in the wash, and I'll be all set.
Cool.
I'm excited. Yes. All right, Carrie, we will be back in a couple of weeks with our first thoughts on our MSC cruise. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
Make sure you're following us on your favorite podcast player so you'll get a new episode every week. And find us on social media too. We'd love to hear from you.
Till next time, remember, you are never too old to be young. Chase your dreams and design your own happily ever after.